I see only the past. I see only the past. Now, this is quite an interesting idea. What it's trying to say is that whenever you look around you, everything that you're experiencing and seeing is just the past. You're not in the now moment, you're not in reality. You're looking at the past. Interesting. Well, let's start with a simple example, just so it can guide us into the idea, and then we can get a little bit deeper. Now, look at a cup, for example. Do you see a cup, or are you merely reviewing your past experiences of picking up a cup, of being thirsty, drinking from a cup, feeling the rim of a cup against your lips, having breakfast, and so on? Okay, now remember, we're just having a very simple example, just so we can start to get into this idea. Now, are not your aesthetic reactions to the cup also based on past experiences? Yeah, how else would you know whether or not this kind of cup will break if you drop it? You see, so it's trying to suggest here that the fact that you're looking at you know that the cup will break if you drop it, is because, of course, in the past you have broken the cup, so you're not actually experiencing the cup afresh. You have already superimposed a past idea on it, and what you're looking at is your past experiences about the cup. So it's true, the cup may break when you drop it, but since you're already careful, what this is trying to suggest is, since you're already careful with the cup because you know it's going to break, that means you're already looking at it based on your past experiences. And then what it's suggesting is that you have covered all your past experiences, you've covered the cup with all your past experiences, so that even if it had its own different reality, yeah, you would not see it because you'd still be looking at your past beliefs. Remember, you see what you believe, and then you believe what you see. Yeah. So the course goes on to suggest that you would have no idea what a cup is. In fact, you wouldn't even know what a cup is, except for your past learning of what a cup is. Yeah. So it goes on to ask, if you would not have a past learning experience about a cup, you would really not know what a cup is today. And then by extension, that means that you know what a cup is today because you're projecting your past onto it. And then it goes on to ask you, do you then really see the cup? It sounds like a philosophical question, but I think it has very, very serious practical implications. Very serious practical implications. I mean, this is the basis of assumptions and every other thing that has brought us, mistaken identity, everything. But the course is actually going deeper here. It's saying, it's going beyond assumptions. It's saying that everything you're seeing, you're literally seeing your projected past experiences, and that it is very rare that you leave enough of a gap for the new to stream in. Do you understand what that means? Very rarely in your life will you leave enough of a gap for something new to stream in. You could even go to a foreign nation where everything is done upside down, and you're not going to see most of what's going on around you because you'll be seeing only what you expect to see. So you might see a few strange things here and there, and you might whatever, but much of what is going on around you, you're not going to see. If, for example, you'll come from a place where, let's say, whatever it is, maybe have you ever noticed how a local, if you go to a very strange place and you get a local, you're going to see a completely different world because the local guide is showing you this world. And if you went by yourself to this very different place, you will miss everything because you don't have a guide who is native to that area. So even though your eyes will be open and you'll be walking around this new place, you'll miss most of it. But if you have a local guide, that guide will be able to point and say, hey, look over there. Can you see that happening? And you'll say, what? What am I looking at? Do you see the way those things are moving? Yeah. That is this and this and this. And then you go, oh, I see. So a local guide in a foreign land will be able to help you see what is right in front of your face, but you can't see it because you're already seeing only what you project. This is the point of this lesson, that everything you see is your projections of the past. So now let's read what A Course in Miracles says, as I look about, I condemn the world I look upon. I call this seeing. In other words, it's saying that the act of looking around is actually not looking, it's not seeing. We call it seeing, like, hey, I saw a bird, I saw a tree. A Course in Miracles is suggesting that this is not seeing. This is actually condemning. You're condemning the world. Why? Because you're holding the past against it. Yeah? So let's read on. I hold the past against everyone and everything, making them my enemies. When I have forgiven myself and remembered who I am, I will bless everyone and everything I see. There will be no past and therefore no enemies, and I will look with love on all that I failed to see before. So here it's suggesting that what we call seeing is actually condemnation, because instead of actually seeing reality as it truly is, what we're doing is we're projecting an old, disheveled, past onto it. We're not really seeing reality. We are seeing our own projections of the past. And in this way, we go ahead and make everything our enemies and, to justify our mistaken so-called vision. Okay? Now, this idea is particularly difficult to believe at first. Yeah? Yet, it is the rationale for all the preceding ones. Let's look at how that is so. Yeah? I see only the past is the reason why nothing you see means anything. It is the reason why you have given everything you see all the meaning it has for you. It is the reason why you do not understand anything you see. It is the reason why your thoughts do not mean anything, and why they are, just like the things you see, meaningless. Okay. It is the reason why you are never upset for the reason you think. It is the reason why you're upset because you see something that is not there, and so on. So as you can see, this idea, I see only the past, is quite controversial, logically speaking, but scientifically speaking, it does make sense, yeah? Because we all know, even scientists will tell you that we are projecting. It's called projecting. We are projecting. So in many ways, we are seeing what we think we're seeing outside is simply a projection of our beliefs. And even when we see, then we interpret the signals coming from outside, using our minds, and we reconstruct the image again according to our beliefs. Remember what we saw about seeing and hearing and the sense of, sight and sound, how sight and sound works. Remember we said that the images coming in through the eye get converted to an electric signal, and then they're filtered, distorted, and then an image recreated in our mind, a disheveled image based on our beliefs. Yeah. So this is what's happening here, basically. Okay. Now, it goes on to say that old ideas about time are very difficult to change, because everything you believe is rooted in time and depends on your not learning these new ideas about it. Yet that is precisely why you need new ideas about time. Yeah? This first time idea is not really so strange as it may sound at first. So it's saying that all your beliefs, when you think about it, everything you believe about yourself, your family, your children, your career, everything is rooted in time. Think about that. All your beliefs have been planted into a soil that you call time. Yeah? Therefore, for you to change your belief about this soil, this time, this foundation of everything that you have come to believe, for you to change your beliefs about time becomes very difficult, because that means you're going to shake many of your other beliefs. One way or another, whether you realize it or not, most of your beliefs, I don't know, maybe all of them, I don't know, but most of them are rooted in time. Therefore, for you to start challenging that idea of time is very, very difficult for you. You might even resist it. Yet, that is exactly why you need that new idea. That is exactly why you need a new idea about time. Something so radically challenging. Okay? Now, once you start getting used to these ideas and how they work and everything, you'll start to see that they're not as strange as they may at first sound. Thank you.